Welcome to my podcast. Today, I will be breaking down, analyzing, and predicting Super Bowl 50. This matchup is between the Carolina Panthers and the Denver Broncos. This will likely be Peyton Manning's last game we ever see him play in the NFL. So, he will want to leave a lasting image for fans and players. For the Carolina Panthers, they have to continue doing what they have done all season long, which is dominating their opponent as they steamroll through the divisional playoff and their conference playoffs. Key players to this matchup are for Denver, Peyton Manning, Demaryius Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders, and their defense. I'm going to start with their defense. To me, their defense may be the most important piece to this game because, as we saw in the game against the Patriots, their offense got a few early scores, but then they relied on their defense heavily to stop Tom Brady. They will have to do more of the same against Cam Newton and the Panthers. Denver's defense is for real. They are very good. But Cam Newton is a lot more mobile than Tom Brady, which could cause some cause for concern as he is very good at scrambling and finding open receivers. Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders are two dynamic receivers for the Broncos. So you have to always keep an eye on them. But in the playoffs, and especially in the Super Bowl, it always seems to be an unsung hero, a player you never heard of that gets the job done. And last but not least, Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning is the engine for the Denver offense. Everything flows through him. With the way Carolina's defense is built, their strength is at middle linebacker, and they have a really good defensive front as well. So the Broncos may have trouble running the ball. So they will have to rely on Peyton Manning's football IQ, changing the play at the line of scrimmage, and hopefully changing the play at the line of scrimmage will catch the defense off guard a few times. Some key players for Carolina are their defense. As I mentioned before, the Carolina defense is very good. In fact, they have been the best defense in the league this year. They can cause turnovers. They have a pretty solid secondary. But what is worrisome if you're Denver is the pass rush, their middle linebackers, and their defensive line. They can really cause some havoc. A wide receiver that you need to keep an eye on is Ted Ginn Jr. Ted Ginn Jr. is a very explosive receiver who you cannot give any space to. If you give any space to him, he can hurt you and burn you for big plays. Another receiver that you really need to pay attention to is Greg Olsen, who's a Pro Bowler, and he is Cam Newton's favorite target. You always have to keep check on him. Last but not least, Cam Newton. He is a MVP candidate for this year. He is playing very well, and he's finally becoming the player that the Carolina Panthers envisioned him being when they drafted him. X factors for both these teams are both on the defensive side of the ball. For the Denver Broncos, it's Von Miller. Von Miller is a player that can really get to the quarterback and cause severe pressure. As we saw in the game against New England, he was the guy that really got to Tom Brady a lot. For the Panthers, it's Luke Kuechly. He is probably the captain of the defense, so to speak, and is probably one of the best, if not the best, middle linebacker in the game. Now for my predictions. Denver wins if Peyton Manning is Peyton Manning and can get some points on the board. He needs to take care of the ball and not turn the ball over. That's very critical in this game. If he turns the ball over, it's going to be a very long game for the Broncos. The defense for the Broncos needs to put Cam Newton under siege. They need to put pressure on him like they did to Brady. They need to rattle him. He cannot sit in the pocket all day. He cannot have so much time. They need to find a way to get him rattled. And last but not least, they need to limit Greg Olsen, whether it's putting 2 or 3 guys on him, like they did to Gronkowski. The Carolina Panthers win if Cam Newton plays like the MVP candidate he has all season long. Jonathan Stewart is effective in running the football. And the defense for the Panthers is able to get pressure on Peyton Manning. My prediction is that the Carolina Panthers win 24-17.